Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing y'all how I was able to achieve this half up, half down with the fringe bang on my frontal with the old frontal unit that I made. So right here, I'm just blow drying the wig since I did wash it because like I said, this was an old unit that I previously wore. So I just washed it out to give it a fresh new start for this look.
I got a crush on you. I won't play with your mind, I'm not wasting your time. I just wanna fuck with you. They be wasting your time.
Already have my bang part sectioned out. I did that while it was wet because it gives you a flatter look when you already trim the hair in the direction that you want it to go in before you actually start styling. It's best to do this in the washing and blow drying phase. And right here, I'm just sectioning out the part that is going to be going up into the bun. You want to make sure you leave enough hair to cover the tracks in the back, but you don't want it to be too thin for your bun. So I'm just sectioning out and making my parts. And yes, I know I look crazy, and we're not going to say nothing about that because I wanted to be cozy while I made this. Now that I have this side clipped up the way that I want it out the way, I'm going to pull some hairs out for the baby hair to make it easier when it's time to style and actually do them. I want to have them already pulled out. And like I said, since this is an old frontal, there's like balding spots, messed up lace in some areas. So you want to pull the hair out like this while you are standing over it so you can see everything. It's really hard to do this when it's already on your head because something that you may not see other people will see and it'll just look bad. And I'm going to just do the same thing to the other side, making sure not to have it interfere with my part for the bang, and make sure I'm keeping it nice and flipped about the way so it doesn't go back into the spot where all the hair is going to be out. I'm giving y'all a close-up of how everything is looking. Everything is coming out the way that I want it to. I'm showing y'all how I pulled some hairs out to cover the tracks, and in the end I will have pulled out more hair, but this is just to show y'all what I've done so far and how it should be looking at this point. Now that everything is clipped up and out the way, I'm going to begin the straightening process. You want to get the hair in the back as straight as possible, especially when you have a lot of bundles. I have 4 bundles in this. I was able to fit them all in it. So you really want to get it as straight as possible so it doesn't look bulky and it doesn't look like a 50-pound wig. You want it to be nice and sleek, especially for this look. So I already put some of my bio silk into it. I always use that when I straighten my bundles, and you could get that from a hair store department store. I got mine from TJ Maxx. So I just put the bio silk in it. I sectioned out the part that I'm going to start straightening it, and I'm going to begin.
And this be from Cash, not from YouTube.
Right here, I'm just going to go over the bang part lightly, straightening it just so the hair falls in this direction. This would not be the final time that we straighten it. This is just to make sure that it's all going forward, that it doesn't end up falling back into the rest of the hair. And when you straighten for the bang, you want to make sure you take it in parts. You never want to take the entire bang as one clump and straighten it. You want to section it and take little parts.
I just wanna fuck with you. They be wasting your time, cause these niggas be lying, they just wanna fuck on you. I've been waiting, no lie, I've been patient this time, so what do you wanna do?
So this is a really important step. At the part that is covering the tracks, I put my Cara hair wax stick onto it. And now I'm going to brush it with my bristle brush, and then I'm going to hot comb it because you really want it to be going in that direction. You really want it to be just perfect and seamless. You don't want to be walking in the wind, makes your hair blow, and then your tracks are showing. So this is really just going to ensure that the hair is like molded over the tracks. Now I'm just hot combing the part that's going to be going up into the bun. Since this is the part that everyone sees, everyone notices, you really want this to be very flat. Get it as flat as possible. You don't want it to look like a mountain sitting at the top of your head. So I'm going to be going back and forth with putting wax on it, using the brush, hot combing it, and getting it to go upwards into that direction.
Got your back, I won't front on you. All them bitches be under you. And I come for the gutter too. And I sound just like Gunner too. Fuck it, I keep the gunner too. But yeah, I got a crush on you. He been wasting your time and fucking this line. He just wanna And I'm thinking he blind and fucking this mind and fuck it up. And I'm on, you done with him. Said you done with him. Don't be done for him. He act done with something. We gon' front on him. I know he a clown, and he not around, but
now that it's up and out the way, this is how the hair should look at this point. The top part should be sitting up in a ponytail, ready for you to do the bun. You should have the hairs pulled out on the side to do your baby hair. And you should have the hair that's for your bangs already cut. This is only as a guide. This is not going to be the final cut. So make sure you cut it longer, way longer than necessary. Just so you know where the bang is for when you do go to cut it. You have a lot of hair to work with.
This time, so what do you wanna do?
Here I'm just playing with the part that's going to be for the bun, just seeing what direction I want it to go in, if it's thick enough, if it's too thin, and I realized that it was too thin for my liking, so this is optional. You do not have to do this, but I added a track piece into it just to give it a fuller look. I didn't want to have just a small bun at the top with all this hair in the back, so I just got a random track piece from an old unit that I had, and I'm just going to add that in there, and you will see me wrapping it around with glue. That is also optional. You do not have to put hair glue on it. What I ended up doing was taking that part out in the end because I wore this over the weekend, so I wanted to be able to redo my bun each time that I felt like it was getting too messy. So you don't have to glue it. I ended up just mixing the track in with the hair when it's already in the ponytail, and then just twisting it for security, and then just wrapping it around. So again, that is optional.
I've been waiting, no lie, I've been patient this time, so what do you wanna do? In my bed, you feel comfortable. Know the rest when I gonna you.
So now we're done. This is how the very close to the final result looks like. Again, I'm not going to say final result because once it's on your head and you tweak it a little bit, it's going to be the final result. But this is just showing how it's looking, and this is how yours should also look. Really easy, really cute, quick hairstyle. Okay, hey y'all, so now that we finished the video, this is the final look. The top knot. Remember when I had the hair on the canvas side, I cut the bangs to like right here, and that's because you don't want to cut it too short on the mannequin head, because if you cut it longer, you could always go back to make it shorter to fit your face. But if you cut it too short off the back, you're just out of luck. So I just cut it at that length, just to know that this is where my bangs are gonna be. This is the part that's gonna be for my bangs. And when I would go to put the wig on, because you know how you put the wig on bottom up, you want to be able to remember where the bang was, so you're not pulling out unnecessary hair. So when I did put the wig on my head, I glued it down with the Ticia glue. Only did 2 coats of it. When I wanted to perfect my bun, I ended up, as you see, this is the part for it. It went back a little bit further. I parted it and I put some of the hair back. I didn't need to use all the hair, which worked out good because remember, I didn't cut it too short. It was still long enough to where I could easily slick it back. Now, I used a 13x4 frontal. This frontal was from DOLA hair. I see that people say that you can only do this with 13x6, you can only do this with a full lace wig, and this is to show you that I was able to achieve this look with using just a 13x4. Also, another thing that I want to talk about real quick, this is not a hairstyle that I personally would buy the frontal specifically for and use my hair with this for, maybe because I'm just not really a bangs person. But personally, I just feel like this is a perfect hairstyle if you know your frontal balding in the front, because this frontal, I used it before. I had a side part with it, and I needed a quick hairstyle, and I didn't want to have to order new hair or anything. I only needed it for the weekend. So I just put some bangs in the front and pull this up into the bun. So, you know, because you know how it is when you have your frontals and then you feel like you can't use them no more because you can't you can't part it to the middle because it's balded. You can't part it to the side, there's not enough hair, the lace looking crazy. Like, this is a really good way to reuse your frontal and like get your money's worth out of it. I mean, I would do this hairstyle, but with short hair. Not so much long. Like, my hair is pretty long. I have one. So, also, when cutting your bangs, because I'm not a professional at cutting bangs, this was... I mean, I used to always wear bangs. Now I don't. And before I used to cut it with scissors. But the best way to cut bangs is using a razor comb. I still got some hair on it. Because with the scissors, when you cut it like that, when you go in to cut it, you can't really see exactly where you're, like, how much you're cutting until it's too late, until the hair's already gone. But with this, especially when you want to get that fringe look, that messy kind of see-through, is you really just take it and just go like that. And then it's way easier to cut it into the style that you want. The style that I want is where it's like that. It's longer towards the ends, and it's longer towards the ends, and it's like wispy right here, like choppy. Let me stop. But it's cute. I was in the city the other day and I was walking around and this person told me I look like, well, they told me and my friend, they said me and my friend look like we came fresh out the chocolate factory, so. And people told me, they be gassing it though, that it's giving them Nicki Minaj vibes, but I mean, I'm gonna take a compliment. So I just want, oh, also, when you straighten your bang, you don't ever want to take your straightener and straighten it like this, like where you take the whole thing itself, and like, no. What you want to do is you want to part it. Well, this is a messy part, but yeah, as I can see, my lace tripping up under there. There should be 2 layers. So you will take this, take the first layer, and then you will bump that. And then you would take the top layer, and you bump it. You don't want to do it all at once, because then it looks like really flat, and then this part has a bump to it, which does not look good. You want to separate it and do it in 2 sections. You can spray hairspray onto your brush. It has to be a brush that has really close bristles. And then start from right here, start all the way at the top, and then you could brush it to get the lines out of it. So do I recommend this hairstyle? Yes, I do. It was very easy. It's a very easy hairstyle, something quick to do, really good to if you want to reuse your frontal, you're not ready to let it go just yet. So thanks for watching my video. See y'all next time.